I thought with everything now in the past, more or less, I wouldn't have to be making a decision right now. But here I am. The biggest decision of my life. Not sure that's saying much. The decision about when to breathe in exactly. Now. There. Lungs all filled with water. No going back now. Now you've done it.
Sam? Sun's hardly up and he's out of bed. His pillow's cold. Been gone a while then. Must have started work early. Surprised he didn't wake me up to fix his breakfast. I'm not complaining. No, it's Sunday. He can't be at work. Where's he got to? He did say a while back he'd look into doing the odd Sunday shift, bringing a bit of extra money. Aye, that'll be it. Well, best be up. Can't be sprawling in my pit, not if he's out slogging. Never hear the end of it.
I can safely say that the time for effective decision-making is over and done with. Because here I am, twisting and turning in the dark. Like a wisp of lint in a great dark hall, not knowing which way is up, which way is down, which way goes deeper, which way'd take me up to the sweet air with the stars just fading in the dawn, and the birdsong, and the church bells. I think I'm dead already. Give or take these last hard moments. They are hard. Surprisingly hard. I'm screaming. Not out loud, all locked up inside me, but with a lake in my lungs and its great dark hands muffling me about the mouth. Still screaming. This is taking forever.
Porridge on the arbor prepared last night hasn't been touched.
Heart slowing down now.
Well, I'll not let it go to waste.
It's stopped. It's over. Is it over?
All right. Let me read your statement back to you. At around 5:30 a.m, I was making my way across Hounsley Common in the pursuance of my employment when I heard the faint sound of a splash in the lake, which was furthest from where I were at the time. I can't say for a certainty that what I took to be an arm reaching up from the water wasn't maybe a twig, or perhaps my mind playing tricks. I thought it best to report the incident anyway, which is what I'd done.
Why has nobody put a boat out onto the lake yet? I need boats. Miss Avril Barker's Boats Upon a Lake captures the fragility of life, buoyant upon dark and treacherous depths, and yet, with the oars lifting dazzling splashes of sunlit water, she deftly evokes a suggestion of hope. I can't finish it without actual boats. Without boats, it's just a lake, and what's the good of that?
Two hours since I nestled face down in the black mud. On all fours like I'm on my marks. Ready to scuttle over the bed of the lake. But I'm not going anywhere. The lake is streaming through my veins, ruffling my hair. It's rifling my pockets. One pocket watch. It stopped. You've stopped it. 2 tram tickets. I never went. Should have. 1 letter. That's private. And you're making the ink run. 1 sandwich half eaten and 1 pawn ticket. Oh yeah. Too late for redeeming now.
Nice to have the chance to get things done. Usually got in under my feet of a Sunday. Get this doorstep scrubbed white for a start. Be the first thing he sees when he turns that corner. See, he's not the only one done a morning's work. Get the floors swept and all, and the brass polished, corners clear of cobwebs, hang out the rugs, air the beds, air the rooms. Let's get a breath of fresh air blowing through this house for a change. They're saying there's someone drowned in the lake. Folk going over there to take a look. But awful. Awful when you think about it. Of course, you can't believe a word of what's said round here.
Morning, Constable.
Ah, Mr. Price. You got my note, then?
Myself and the multitude, it would seem. Quite a crowd gathering.
None of my doing.
No, it'll be that runner of yours. Dare say he didn't pass a single doorway without thrusting his scraggy little head inside, unburdening himself of his news. So much for an exclusive story.
I did give him clear instructions. Make your way directly to Mr. Price's office at the Herald. Talk to no one. I'll be giving him what for, don't you worry.
No, not for my account. Matter of fact, I'm obliged to him. The more the merrier. Folk will be desirous of reading all about their grand day out, their own part in the unfolding tragedy. Self-dispatch, your main line of conjecture, is it?
That would seem to tally with the particulars of the witness's statement, yes.
Any ideas as to the identity of the unfortunate, clues and so forth? Perhaps a note of some kind?
Nothing like that.
Footprint in the mud, say, or a labourer's boot, a mill girl's clog. Nothing of that sort.
Well, be a bit late for that now. What with this lot milling around.
Indeed. If you'd been a little quicker off the mark. Well, never mind.
Come on. Don't just be a lake. Mean something. Damn.
Oh, there goes her pencil. Perhaps I should lend her my pocket knife. Oh, she has her own pocket knife. Perhaps I should introduce myself anyway. Hello, Henry Gates. Yes, I've often seen you bowling along my street. That brown leather artist folder of yours. Always looking so purposeful, so unconstrained. Myself, I'm a writer. Oh, I specialise in the uncanny, the ghostly, the unexplained. Would you be interested in that kind of thing? At all? Oh, what am I doing? Ridiculous. I only followed her because I'm trying to avoid work. I haven't got a clue what to write. Lovely day, though. And I do need to cast around a little for inspiration. Hubert Royal, usually the most prudent of men, one day found himself under a strange compulsion to follow a striking and enigmatic young lady he'd noticed boarding a tram. I'll make that a hansom cab. Follow that cab, he instructed his coachman.
4 hours. I'm having company. Lots of it. Little guests scuttling and crawling, flapping and wriggling. I'm the table. I'm the food. I'm the caves of wonder for the playful. Inside me you can hear the hum of industry. The night shift's moved in. They're breaking me down layer by layer. In the blink of centuries, the day shift will be back to build it all up again into... what? An emperor, maybe? Or an oak in the forest? An oil-slick puddle between the cobbles? Or ink on a letter explaining why? There's a thread of ink drifting past me. Out from my pocket. Words fading. Sorry. Forget. Love.
Oh, what's to do with me? I'm supposed to be doing the bed here. What is to do with me? His nightshirt, hung up on the nail there, all crumpled and hunched up. The house full of him, but empty of him. Why does it make the world seem such a sad place? He'll be finishing his shift at dinner. I'll get down there, meet him at the gates. Have a nice packed lunch ready for him.
Licorice, Constable?
Best not, Mr. Price. On duty and all that. Thanks for offering.
No, well, suit yourself. It'd be a shame if it turned out to be some destitute who's done for himself.
A real shame. Aye. No condition of some of them. More to be pitied for continuing to draw breath, if you ask me.
Well,
enough to break the stoniest of heart it is. And then I'm expected to nick 'em for what? Starving without a licence?
actually, I was looking at it from an angle of newsworthiness. A mere destitute, vagrant, what you will, hardly news.
Oh, my mistake.
Now, a disgraced dignitary, that would be a story. Girl from a respectable family, that kind of thing. If I didn't know you better, Constable, I'd say I caught a whiff of radicalism just then.
Beg your pardon?
Sounded rather like one of these outside agitators. Perhaps my readers will need fair warning, the kinds of opinions creeping through the police force.
I'm no agitator.
At ease, that man. Just ribbing you. No. Ex-soldier like yourself, proved your loyalty in the teeth of every sneaking boar in the Transvaal, eh?
If you say so, Mr. Price.
Yeah. I was proud to write up on your homecoming, lad. A proud day for the community. So then, plan of action for the recovery of our damp friend down there. What has that military mind of yours got cooking?
We wait. About all we can do.
Wait? Surely grappling hooks or some such? Submariners sifting the bottom of the lake?
They'd be whistling in the dark, to tell you the truth. No, it's just a case of sitting it out. Eventually he'll float up in all probability. They usually do.
Well, kind of a thumb-twiddling strategy is that? Sit it out? Not exactly the spirit that won the war, is it?
Matter of fact, we did spend a lot of time sitting it out over there. The enemy wasn't the kind of customer to put himself in our way if he didn't have to. We knew well enough when he did oblige us. He left his mark then, all right.
Well, God help us if it takes as long to recover this poor devil as it did to deal with a rabble of Dutch hayseeds, that's all I can say.
That's precarious ground, that.
What?
Excuse me, Mr. Price. Get back from the edge of that bank! Could give way in a second, please! Step back! Don't want any more fatalities, do we? Matter of fact, if it is some poor destitute down there, we may be here all week.
Oh?
No food in the belly, you see. No body fat neither. And it's food and fat makes the gas that brings them back up. So all in all, somebody well-to-do would be a better proposition all round.
Really? Oh, well. Fingers crossed then.
They're saying there's a body in the lake. Oh, that's horrible. Horrible. And all these people watching, waiting, actually making a day of it. How absolutely macabre it all seems now.
After alighting, unseen, from his cab and dismissing the coachman, Hubert followed the lady to the banks of a lake. Choosing a safe vantage point amongst the holiday crowds, he watched as she worked on her inexplicably melancholy sketches. What was it she apprehended in the scene that Hubert could not? Those portraits of bystanders upon the banks. Why had she chosen to reveal traces of musculature and bone and ligament beneath translucent flesh? As though her models were occupants of a mortuary slab rather than a merry, good-natured crowd. That courting couple. Why did she translate their embrace into a ghastly dance of death? Those agreeable-looking gentlemen sharing a joke. Why, in her construction, were they a brace of skulls grinning in a death's head grin?
Who is that odd-looking man hovering over there?
Why don't I just ask her about her work? One artist to another.
He does look strangely familiar. He looks so out of place here, out of place in the world, in fact. I don't want him to bolt if he knows I'm sketching him. I'll keep him vague, indistinct, a constant presence, an onlooker, an outsider, always hovering at the edges.
6 hours, and I've risen up a touch. You'd hardly notice. But it's a bad sign for the lake if it's wanting to hold on to me. My backside is all that's up so far. I've the look of a rag doll flopped over a rail. Very dignified. At least my face is out of the mud now. It's the gas. Gas inside me. Bowels swelling like balloons. Billions of bacteria throwing off my moorings. The air is trying to sneak me back up again. It's got mouths of its own to feed. The lake's not giving up though. It's humped its whole weight on me back. There goes more ink from my letter. Ink as black as sin. All words gone. Redeem. Adore. Ring. You'd think everything would be quite still down here, but it's not. Look. I'm rocking. Gently rocking in time with the weeds. Forwards and back. Forwards and back. My fingers stroking the mud. Got silt under my nails. Oh, look at that. Fingertips all wrinkled like I've been in the bath too long. Out you get me, Ma used to say. Or you look like one of them washerwomen. Ma, if you could see me now. Oh, something's passed. They made a swoop over me. A shadow of feathers passing over. Just thinking of me ma make the angels come.
Might as well eat this lunch I've made him myself now, seeing as he wasn't at work. Yes, that's what he'll have done. Took himself off for a spot of early morning fishing. So I'll not be surprised if he is around here somewhere after all. Can't see him yet. I'll save him a butty just in case. I haven't got much of an appetite anyway. It'll be going round to that yard of his as took it away. Even waiting at the gates you can smell it. The blood and fear of those poor animals he does for. That slaughterhouse smell he brings into the house with him. I'll bet he's sat at home now wondering where I've got to. I'll just give it a while longer. Just in case he shows up here. Might as well make the most of the sunshine.
Of course, I expect you're quite inured to all this, to the sight of death, what with your military experiences.
Not sure if you can ever become inured, Mr. Price.
All the same, you must have seen some sights to rattle you down to your bootstraps, eh? Of course, seen my share of dead ones too.
That right?
Oh, yes. As a youngster, a few of us, little devil rumour, we took it into our heads to go around paying our respects to the recently departed. Just a bit of larking about, really. Poking our noses into parlours, having a look at them, all laid out in their coffins. Strange how quickly you can get used to it. The sight of death, well, you'd know.
They don't lay them out so daintily on the battlefield as they do in parlours, Mr. Price.
No, I wasn't for 1 minute. But death is death, Constable, surely.
Yes, it is.
This witness of yours, reliable, is he?
As far as I can judge.
What's his name? I'll make a note.
Elias Furcuttle.
Right. So, he witnessed this incident at 5:30 a.m, was it?
That's right, yes.
Odd time for a chap to be out and about. Anybody with claims to respectability at any rate.
Mr. Furcuttle's the night soil man.
That would explain the crepuscular hour, at least.
The what, sir?
The ungodly hour. Night soil man, well, well. Wish I'd known the calibre of your witness before I came dashing over here. Well, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we?
As Hubert continued to observe the young lady's compulsive sketching, he gradually became aware of a misty, wraith-like presence haunting all of her sketches. Yes, there it was again. Was it a ghost? The memory of a lost lover, perhaps? Here was a mystery indeed.
Perhaps I should try a more detailed portrait of him. As a record. After all, future generations of art historians might wonder about his identity.
She looked at me.
Not bad looking, not handsome exactly, but definitely an interesting face.
A look that was fleeting yet bold. A little too forward, in fact. Indeed, there seemed something unwholesome in the very nakedness of her glance. Oh, Hubert felt exposed. Well, there was some vague yet grievous danger. He decided to lose himself in the crowd. Casually now. Casually.
Bother. I've scared him off.
It does feel nice to be surrounded by people for a change. Folk from all walks of life here now. It's like the World Fair. Everybody's got their own idea of who it is in the lake. Little girl, someone says. It'll be one of those from back-to-backs by the tanning works. They let 'em run wild. Pawnbroker, says another, the one on Seward Lane. Conscience were bound to get the better of him one day. Tram driver, someone else reckons, driven doolally taking same route day in, day out. Or that vagrant who sleeps under railway bridge by Flatiron Market. Or a slaughterhouseman. Or some husband driven to it by his nag of a wife. That's the most popular one put forward. Could be a wife driven to it. It's not everyone blessed with an husband to their liking. Not by a long chalk.
This fur kettle, is his word to be trusted, a fellow like that?
Fellow like what, sir?
No doubt a desperate character, I would have thought. Who's to say he didn't do for some poor lonely wayfarer and now seeks to throw you off the scent by coming forward?
Seemed an all right sort of chap to me. Rather a gent, as a matter of fact.
Might not this fur kettle character, in fact, be the ringleader of a criminal gang? After all, I doubt very much whether he could have acted alone, and I dare say the victim was known to him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have succeeded in luring him to such a desolate spot at such an hour. Therefore, both victim and murderer, or murderer, were confederates. Fearing betrayal, driven mad by a naturally suspicious nature, Fur Kettle orders the execution of one of his number, and, as the cold fingers of dawn creep over the rooftops, the poor wretch is thrown into the icy waters, weighted down, perhaps, with his own share of the stolen bullion.
I'll certainly make a note of all that, Mr. Price. We're ruling nothing out at this stage.
Good. Good. I think I should mingle with the crowd a little, get a feeling for the general mood.
6 hours, 30 minutes. Sun's lording it high in the sky, dropping its spare change down here. Makes for a nice glow to get resurrected in. It's taking its time, that angel, though. 3 times I felt it swooping by. Well, I'm in no position to question how they go about things. Has it just come for me? There. I feel it again, swooping by. Angel. Sweet angel of mercy. Take me with you if you can. It's tugging at me coat pocket. It's made off with the remains of my sandwich. Left one feather behind. It's a duck's feather. A duck's gone and had me lunch. Fetch me away. Someone fetch me away.
Where's that going to? All dazzling with the sunlight on it. Next town? To the other side of this town. Might as well be going to the other side of the sun for all the chance I get to go on a train. Not often I get to go to the end of our street without his say-so. Be nice to go on a train journey. There it goes. Off to the other side of the sun.
Let's see. Near the lake was a fair. Hubert stopped by a charming little stall presided over by a rosy-cheeked maiden and purchased some mouth-watering tidbits.
You want vinegar on that track, mate?
Thank you. No.
Terrible business, eh?
Sorry.
Still, good for trade. I was going to take the day off today. Any more news on the body, do you know?
Body?
In the lake. Bloke was drowned, he said. Any sign of him yet?
My God, what have I been missing here? Right under my nose. What, you mean... I think there's a body in the lake?
Blimey! Where have you been, mate?
What a story. Oh, that's wonderful. Terrible, too, of course. The realisation hit Hubert like a thunderbolt. She was sketching a scene of horror. And the figure in her sketches, the figure in the sketches, was the ghost of the man who had drowned.
Hello again, Constable.
Ah, you're back then, Mr. Price. Enjoy your walk?
Very pleasant, thank you. Stall selling absolutely first-class Savoy sausages over there. Came across an ale stand, too. Proved an excellent spot for taking the measure of the public's views on the proceedings. Found myself having a lovely, quiet snooze under the thicket.
You'll have missed the excitement, then.
What?
There was a sighting, middle of the lake.
Was it him?
I'm afraid it wasn't, no. Turned out to be a duck breaking the surface, probably feeding among the weeds at the bottom.
Lakeside drama turns into damp squib.
Sorry if you feel I've wasted your day, Mr. Price.
No, not all in all. It's making a nice change from a day spent indoors. Proving a splendid day out. Even got some of your old comrades out in force. Army lads.
Yes, I had a word with them before.
Quite a formidable cannon they've got there. I expect they're going to put on a show for us, part of the entertainment.
Actually, they're going to discharge it over the water. Hopefully dislodge the body from the mud. Vibrations, you see.
Oh, then up he rises, eh? How splendid. Hurrah for the infantry!
As Hubert walked amongst the crowds, he became aware of a spectral presence dogging his very footsteps. Icy fingers of fear touching the back of his neck. He spun round. Nothing. At least, nothing comprehensible. But always, at the periphery of his vision, refusing to resolve itself into clarity, was the impression merely, of that strange figure from the lady's sketches. Oh, it was tantalisingly familiar. Was it somebody known to him? Or somebody from his own past, perhaps? But who? Maddeningly, it eluded him. He had to confront the lady, had to speak to her.
Ah, here we are. Fireworks. Everybody down in their foxhole.
Ready?
Oh, dear, dear. Heaven help England if she ever needs to call on this lot again, eh? I expect this. I expect all this has a sentimental appeal for yourself, the whiff of grape shot and so on.
Not exactly, no.
Ah, here we are. We're going for another try.
George, ready?
Ready! Fire!
Silt billowing up. Like smog in bloom. I'm in a cloud. Something's happening to me. I'm rising. Barely, but definitely. You can just make me out through the silt. A sphinx rearing up in a sandstorm. Begging for scraps. A bubble escapes from my mouth. Launched up towards the open air. Am I about to follow it up? No. I'm sinking again. Settling with the silt. But the bubble's rising still. Up it goes. And up and up. Perhaps it could deliver a message. Tell everybody, no. Tell her, tell her not to... I'm sorry. The ring, love, always will... No one... What was it I wanted to say?
Did anybody else see that? A bubble. Middle of the lake. Like a little sob bursting out of the water it was. No. Nobody else saw it. It's not really you down there, is it? Are you trying to say something to me, Sam? I'm here. I'm here watching the lake. Talk to me again, Sam. Talk to me, Sam. Mind you, it'd be a miracle if I could get 2 words out of him in a row. 2 worth listening to at any rate.
How much longer? Days? Years? Eternities, perhaps? When everything has perished, the mountains even, and the waters, the planets and suns, even time. It's an awful long time to wait. What I did made me too heavy for the angels to lift me out of the mud. What was it? What was it I did? If I could reach into my pocket, I'd look over my letter. Before everything dissolves. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
He's back again. Why is he looking at me like that?
Excuse me.
Yes?
I couldn't help noticing.
Is he going to object to my sketching him?
She was looking at Hubert with a look of... what was it? Suspicion. Invitation. As though in a dream he approached her. Her arms opened to him. He felt powerless to resist.
What is it you want?
Suddenly, with a sigh, she fell upon him, burying her face against his neck, weeping copious tears. He had to question her about the identity of the spectre she had sketched, of the drowned man, but grief upon grief was welling up in her. Her body racked with convulsive sobs. He tried to kiss away her tears, so many tears.
Look, I don't wish to be rude, but I am rather busy.
So many tears. Rivers, streams of tears were now running down her face. Something wasn't right. Her dress was drenched. Her hair draped across his face like a wet flag. He felt revulsion. Tried to escape from her grasp, but her arms snaked around him ever more tightly. He was trapped. She, or rather it, for Hubert now knew her to be some kind of malign spirit. This she thing was metamorphosizing into water. Hubert was drowning in its very arms, and as his lungs received the foul deluge, Hubert turned his agonized stare towards the sketchbook. And the horror of recognition. For there, in the middle of the picture, Hubert could see that the drowned man, the dreadful spectre, was...
They found him.
It's me. She's been sketching me.
I think they found the body.
I can't see him. Where is he?
Just there. Dark coat, spread over the surface.
Is that it? Looks like a bundle of old rags. Why isn't he face up? Make for far more of a forcible impression. Where are you going?
Going to commandeer that boat. I have to bring him back in. His people back home, they were wanting to know.
Let me come with you.
What?
I want to get a good look at him, be the first to see him.
No, you stay here. It's too dangerous for civilians.
Are you all right?
Eh?
You're shaking, lad. It's just a dead body out there.
Yeah. But just wait here, please.
Now, look, this is my story, and I paid you good money to be in on it. I'm going to let this lot know exactly what death looks like close up.
Are you?
That I am.
Come with me.
Sam wore a coat like that. Does look awfully like it. Life will take a different turn for me from now on. Have to advertise for a lodger for a start. Be someone to talk to of an evening at least. There's comfort in that. And there'd be no more leftovers coming in from the slaughterhouse. No, I'd have to be getting meat in from the butcher, and I'd have to pay the difference for quality. Mind you, without the housekeeping going on his trips to the alehouse and what with a paying lodger on the premises, I wouldn't do so badly. Might even have a bit left over to spend on myself. Go on a trip now and then. Maybe even take up singing lessons again. It'd help me get over my grief. Boat's getting nearer to him now. I have to be strong. I can see from the light. Yes, it's his coat, all right. I'm sure of it.
There's a light. Is this eternity? The eternal light washing everything clean. Everything forgiven. Everything forgotten. I'm sorry I pledged it. Your wedding ring for an hour's comfort with her. What else am I sorry for? That she never came. 2 tickets to go away together. But she never came. I forgive her now. For I'm to be forgiven. For here is the light that washes away all sins.
Hold that lantern steady, Mr. Price.
Yes. Look, Constable, I'm not sure I should be doing this. I'm not feeling very well.
That's all right. Nothing to be ashamed of, Mr. Price. Nerves. We saw a lot of that just before a battle.
I ate too much. The ale. I don't like this fog coming down. I can't see anything. I don't like not being able to see the shore. Ah! Oh, was that him? Have we touched him?
That's him.
What's happening out there?
I can't see anything.
I'm going to sing for you now, Samuel. I know you'd have told me not to be so daft if you could. But you can't, can you? So I will.
Reach across now, Mr. Price, and we'll grab as much of his coat as we can.
I can't.
Please now. I can't do it by myself.
I can't. And you won't make me. I don't want to. I can't.
I woke up in my tent. Sun coming up over the veldt, flies buzzing, gunfire in the distance. 3 of us in the tent there were. Me, Freddie and Cyril. Been laughing and joking all through the night, swapping stories about back home. Next morning, they'd come in the night, you see. The enemy, quieter in the breeze in the grass. It was the flies woke me up. Like black scarves on their necks, all seething and shifting. Cyril and Freddie, they were just staring at me, wondering why I hadn't been touched. And I couldn't tell them, and I still don't know. All I could do was help bury him. That's all I could do. Could you please just help me, Mr. Price?
What do you want me to do?
Just help me pull them into the boat. Come on.
That's it. That's it. Now heave him.
Heave him in.
Oh, that poor soul. The poor man.
That's right, Mr. Price. You give him a bit of comfort now while I row us back.
His eyes, though.
Yes. Listen to that, mate. That's for you. We'll take care of you now.
He's really dead, isn't he?
He is. Yes.
I didn't know. I'm sorry, I never imagined.
I know you didn't, Mr. Price. I know. They're there now. They're there.
The boat emerging from the fog. The light of the lantern.
As the boat drifted towards the shore, he felt her lean towards him.
A silent crowd staring into the abyss together.
The figure in the picture was himself, yes. And it was the dead man, and it was everybody here too.
A communion.
We were all him. He who had gone before us.
A communion of the dead and of the living. How would I capture that?
The end.
I have to try.
It's not him. It's not Sam. It's not even him.
Come on now. Everybody move back. Please move back. Let her grieve. Let her grieve for him.
He'll be coming home tonight, after all. Back home from wherever he's been. Slump into his armchair without a by your leave. And his boots will be on the hearth and the smell of him all through the house full of him. The world full of him. Where do I go now? Other side of the sun.
I don't know more than you. All of you people. You all look at me as though I could tell you something. I walk through crowds of you in the light. You never asked me a thing. Never once. What do you think I saw with two dead eyes and my face in the mud? I saw a cloud of silt billow up, then fall back into the darkness. For a moment, though, everything danced. Everything lived. What is it I'd tell you if I could move this tongue again? I'd say, that moment. How sudden it was. How precious.